We're back with the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC. The show is brought to you by Whitworth Gift Chest Jewelers, where Walmart is next door to us. Also, Fearless Social, proudly supporting OFRA, the Boys and Girls Club, UCAN, and the Bread Shed. And finally, Poplar Bluff Drywall, interior and exterior finishing. References are available. Give them a call at 714-3127. Poplar Bluff Drywall, we rock. The final film we got to review for you today is called District 9. This film came out back in 2009. It's a science fiction film which was produced by the great Peter Jackson, who did the Lord of the Rings films. This film definitely got a lot of critical appeal and also did very well in the box office as well. So, Michael, kind of give us the rundown. What's this movie about?
One of my favorite things about this movie is the storyline. It's about, like, what if aliens had invaded, like, back in the 80s and stayed? So the film, after the film's beginning, fast forward to, like, 20 years after aliens have inhabited Earth for that time, so they've kind of integrated themselves into society, and you see all these signs and whatnot that include the alien species, like, like humans only and stuff like that. Yeah. It's kind of like, back in the 60s when segregation was still in turn, they separated the blacks from the whites. Well, this is humans and aliens.
Right.
It's really interesting to see all that. And the story follows Vickis van der Merwe.
Very nice.
How you say that?
Because I couldn't do that. Very nice, Mike.
Vickis van der Merwe. This semester's speaking German helped. But he is played by Sharlto Copley. He is one of my personal favorite actors. I haven't seen him in very many movies, but from what I have seen him in, he always does a fantastic job. I read actually on Wikipedia that he improvised most of his lines in this movie, which quadrupled my respect for the guy, because that's not a whole lot of actors can do that. He is an agent who, I forget what his official title is, but he is in charge of overseeing District 9, which is this section in South Africa where they're kind of like slums for the aliens. This is where all the aliens live. And they're going to get rid of that section, that district, and move them somewhere farther away, because as of late, the aliens have been kind of disrupting things with the humans in that area of South Africa. A lot of killings and just disturbing the peace and all that, so they need to move the aliens somewhere farther away. So Vickis has to go in and kind of evict all the aliens, let them know that
their time is up and it's time to move to District 10. Is that what it is, or something like that?
I think so, yes. I think it's District 10. It makes sense. So, yeah. But while he's doing that, he gets infected with this serum that this one alien had invented, and it kind of mixes his DNA with that of the aliens. So throughout the movie, you see his body is slowly changing. He gets the arm of an alien, which they're called prawns because they're so shrimp-like.
Yeah.
And so he gets this claw, and he's getting really sick, and he's the subject of a manhunt that the government wants to dissect him and examine his body and all that stuff. Government stuff. But throughout the whole movie is basically him on the run from the government and trying to clear his own name, and also trying to help this one alien and his son get back to the mothership, which has been hovering above South Africa for the last 20 years. Hopefully to go get some help and come back and take all the aliens away, make things better.
Of course. So what is it about this film that you dig?
Well, like I said, I really enjoy the story, the originality, and the creativity behind it. Mm-hmm. I love the acting. Like I said, Sharlto Copley is one of my favorite actors. I love the direction and the atmosphere that this film introduced. Neil Blomkamp is a fantastic director, and I just love the overall tone of it. Almost everything about this movie I love.
Very good. Kyle?
This movie actually what really grabbed me the most is something you alluded to at the very beginning. Taking a concept in movies such as segregation and putting aliens and spin on it with aliens and humans, right. Segregating aliens. I thought, wow, that's really original.
It's deep.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
It's you look farther past, just the generic, just another sci-fi film. It was very well cast. I hadn't heard of anybody in the film beforehand, but at the end of it, I was like, man, everybody's really good. And coming to find out that your guy ad-libbed a lot of his dialogue is extremely impressive for a for a movie with a very serious tone.
Of course,
highly recommend. And it did big business considering the small budget it had. About $200 million at the box office. It was 7 times of its budget. Very impressive. Yeah.
Very nice. Guys, you know me. I'm a movie critic. I gotta pick out something that I don't like, and I gotta tell you about it. I just can't, totally enjoy a movie. It's my weakness. I apologize, but I agree with both of you guys on a lot of parts on this movie. The acting is superb. The storyline original. The only thing that I would complain about, and this is just more of a personal thing that I dislike, is I'd say 20 to 30 minutes of the beginning of the film, it had that documentary look to it. I just think that is so overdone, and I hate it.
True.
I hate it with
it's
a
an easy
passion.
lean on in movies.
And I don't think it needed it with this particular film, because after the 20 minutes are off, it goes back to the normal kind of Hollywood style of shooting things. So,
Right.
Did it come off as obligatory to you to have that in there for them to do that?
I don't know, man.
You almost think that the entire movie is going to be like that
Yeah,
when it
you
starts
do.
out, and then it changes on you, and it's like, oh, this is a pleasant surprise. But I know what you mean. It does kind of make you feel like, did they really have to do that?
Yeah. So, I mean, other than that, it didn't totally ruin the movie for me, but it's not a movie that I want to go out and buy and watch a zillion times either.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
it's one of those movies you see once or twice, and you're good to go.
But I do want to let our folks know out there that I do believe it's a film that is definitely worth a watch, and I think people should definitely watch it. It was nominated for Best Picture back in 2009. So and Peter Jackson is awesome. He helped produce the film. So
Yeah, I actually did not know that until I last watched a couple months ago. That was really neat to me. But it is rated R for heavy violence, bunch of gore, alien guns that vaporize enemies, and lots and lots and lots of pervasive language.
Very, very true. Very true.
Shalto Copley ad-libbed a lot of his stuff, so a lot of those words are placeholders, so it's really easy to get into the habit of saying it over and over and over again. So if you're really offended by bad language and stuff like that, proceed with caution.
Yeah.
But if you can look past that, it's again a superb movie.
I did like the fact that how, Michael, you had mentioned earlier that they didn't start out showing that the aliens came and not invaded, but took place. I like how they just said aliens have been here for 20 years, just accept it and let's move on to this part of the story.
Yeah.
Right.
I really did enjoy that, and I like the fact that they were they talked to. They had those interviews in there in the very beginning as well. Even though it was part of the mockumentary stuff that I didn't like, I still thought that was kind of cool. That's how they kind of told the story a little bit too. So it's called District 9, and you can find it on DVD. Michael, brother, it's a pleasure having you back on the Screen Team. I know you're busy with school and all, but thank you for taking the time to come out and doing this with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Chris. I really appreciate it.
Kyle, as always, man, thank you for coming on. And coming up in a couple weeks, you and I are going to be doing a show where we're doing all sports.
Yeah,
all ESPN documentaries,
yes,
right?
the 30 for 30 series, 30 stories by 30 filmmakers. And
why'd you want to do that, just really quickly?
They're extremely gripping stories. Most fans, whether casual, semi-hardcore, or passionate like myself, are very familiar. You lived them, you saw them, and you get to see these stories retold from different perspectives. And they're really well done, extremely well done. Like, I highly recommend, if you're a sports fan or someone who just enjoys documentaries, enrich your mind and check out something different.
Very nice. Kyle will be doing that show in a couple of weeks. But next week, we'll have a brand new Screen Team for you. We'll have Jake and Jamie in the studio. We'll be reviewing a movie that is considered one of the best movies of 2014. It's called Boyhood. We'll review that one. Also, the Natalie Portman film, one of her very first films, The Professional. We'll do that one as well, and an old movie with River Phoenix called The Explorers. That's all coming your way next Saturday at 6 p.m., and we're being brought to you by Poplar, Bluff Drywall, Fearless Social, and Whitworth Gift Chest Jewelers. For Michael, Kyle, and Chris, we are the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC.